Show you guys how to drain your pool or use the water hose as a vacuum. This is how I would vacuum my pool whenever I did not have the attachment. So basically, while it's still on the spout, turn it on, water's gonna come out, okay? So while the water is coming out, if you're like me, sometimes I get grass on my hose, so I'll have to clean my hose off, or it's gonna get in my pool. The hose is in the pool, so water's coming out right now into the pool. We're just gonna come over here while the water is still on and plugged up. Oh, sorry guys. So still plugged up, still turned on. This is gonna be crazy. Water's coming out of there. Go ahead and turn it off. So look guys, water is coming out of my hose. Of course I would have this all undone, but it's draining. And I usually take it way out into my field, pull my hose completely out so that it's not curled up, and it's draining. So it's draining the water out of my pool. If I need to drain water out of my pool, if it rains too much and it's overflowing, or it's gonna get too much in my tank because you don't want that to overflow, I'll drain it. But what's going on, and if I use this as a vacuum, I'm gonna be in the pool because it's too hard to do outside the pool. But this is suctioning. So there's a piece of dirt still down at the bottom. Watch, I'm gonna suction it up. Oh, it's up. I also like to use this to go around the perimeter of the pool because underneath that flap it can get dirty. So I mean, I don't have time to do it today, but just use this little hose as your suction. There's a piece of dirt right there. It's gone. So it's coming out of the hose. So when you're in there, you know, it's not the easiest task, and it takes a little while, but honestly, that is the best suction you're ever gonna get right there is with this water hose. And ours is a little bit bigger than the normal, but still, you don't want to pick up leaves and stuff with it, so pick up all the big particles. But for dirt, if you want to be sure to get every piece of dirt out of your pool, you can use this water hose technique. Again, I've only done it inside the pool because it's hard to control it, and you have to, oh, something just come out of it. It just went back in. So, yeah, it's hard to do on the outside, but you get the picture. It suctions. It's super suctioning really good. A lot of people are, try to use the outtake to flood it, to get it to suction. But after several times, even using my regular hose that I use for vacuuming, some people are like, yeah, just stick it in the water and pull it out and it'll start pulling the water out. I just couldn't get it to do that. So while it was turned on, just untwist it. The water's gonna come flying out at you. That's okay as soon as that gets out, because it's like a reverse type of a suction for you. So once it's on, it's pushing all the water out, but once you turn it off or pull it out of, or unplug it from the water hose outtake, then it creates a suction. And so then you just pull it out and put your stuff back together. But that is how I drain it. Again, it wouldn't be curled up. I was going to try to show you this really quickly, and I wasn't really trying to drain my pool or use it as a vacuum today, but I would pull the water hose out completely in a straight line. I usually take it out toward the pond area so that I don't have, especially if I'm draining it, so I don't have a big mess out here. And when we mow, that way it's not muddy, or somebody doesn't have an issue with the lawnmower. But that is, if you cannot get that attachment. And then also, like I said, I like to use it to go around the perimeter underneath that flap, because little dirt particles get stuck underneath there and the vacuum head cannot pull it out. So maybe sometime this summer I will have my invention taken care of to show you guys how you can actually use your vacuum head and your pole with the water hose, and then you wouldn't even need an attachment. Of course, while you're doing that, you're gonna lose water, and that's okay, because you can just put more water back in there. It sounds like a waste. I know it's a waste, but if you don't have any other way, like me, that was the best way. And you're not losing tons of water, but you will be losing some water. And that's how I used it for the most part last summer. That's how I did it. And it took me a little while to do it, and I turned the pump off so there's nothing flowing, nothing going in the pool, no circulation, so everything's really still. And of course you don't want to be making a bunch of racket in the pool. You don't want any kids or anybody in there with you while you're doing it. You want to be as calm, as still as you can be, to not stir up the dirt. But that is a sure way to get all the dirt out without it going back into the pool if you have a lot of dirt at the bottom of your pool. That is 100% the sure way. Also, if you have a lot of algae, if you're having a hard time getting the algae cleaned up from the bottom of the pool, this is a sure way to get it completely out.